Good morning, guys. Today let us see one module called CSV. Right? We import this module and this is used to read from a CSV file. What is CSV file? Comma separated values, right? Comma separated values. This is a text file where values are separated with commas. And this module has two main functions, CSV.reader and CSV.writer. So initially we have to open a file. For example, F1 is equal to open some, let us say, some mocks.csv. This is a text file and we are opening in read mode. This is by default it is text, right? So how we use this reader function? CSV let us take some object, reader object, equal to CSV dot reader, and we have to give this file object F1. And now this reader object will have all the contents of this file. For example, it takes some memory location and it reads all the content of this file. Okay? So let us say some values, right? Comma separated values, and it stores in the memory location. Whatever content is there in this file, this will be stored, and this reader object will contain all this content in a list format. For example, this one. This is one list. This is one list. This is one list. Like this. This reader object will contain all this data, right? Now, if you want to read row by row, each row is a list, right? For example, so I'm saying for row in reader. So what is reader? Reader is everything, all this. Whereas row means first time this row will come, second time this row will come, third time this row, fourth time this row, like this, whatever number of rows. For example, let us print a row, right? So what it will print? It will print like a list. If you want to print word by word separately, then we have to use a for loop, right? If you want to list word by word from a list, we will have to use a for loop, right? So let us see. First let us execute this one and see. This one. So notepad, for example, CSV1.py. Any name you can type. .py. It's a Python file. So import CSV module. Then let me take one file object, open mocks.csv read mode. Okay. And this file is already there. Otherwise you can write it notepad mocks.py. So sorry, not mocks.py, mocks.csv. This is a text file. Okay. Let us write one few more lines if you want. Bill Gates, 78, 45, 89, and Steve Jobs, so whatever name, so one word, two words, whatever. Once the name is complete, put comma. For each mocks, you put comma, like this. Steve, Jerry, 89, 67, 45. Okay, this is a text file. Values are separated with comma. Here one word is there, here two words is there. So like whatever it is, wherever you want to terminate, you terminate with comma. So this is a CSV file which we are reading. Let us say some reader object equal to CSV.reader. In this CSV, there is a reader and writer functions, right? Here you have to give this file object F1. Now this will contain all the data. So whatever rows, number of rows are there, so all this data will be there in the reader. If I want to take row by row, I have to use a for loop, right? I have to use a for loop. So for row or whichever name you want, row R or whatever, row in reader. So each row, take each row and print it. It prints in a list format, right? So let us see. So CSV 1.py CSV 1.py executing it. So it is printing in a list format. Each row it is taking and separating wherever there is a comma. Here two words, John is one word. So wherever comma is there, it separates as a word, list item, and prepare the list. Suppose if I want to print each word separately. So let us say instead of printing it, I will take another if for word in row. Row means each list, right? Each list, each word I am taking, and I will print it. Print that word. And equal to space, because we don't want, or let us print first initially this way and run it. So it will print like this, but we don't want like this. So and equal to space, and then after the complete list, print a new line. So like this. If I want any formatting, I can do it, right? For example, word is a string, so each word it will take as a string. Even if it is a number, it will take it as a string. So word dot, for example, can we use left function, let's say in 15 spaces. Let's try. String object has no attribute left all, so it's not left, right? Just left justification function, string functions we learned already. So each we are printing in 15 spaces. So is it printing commas? It's not printing commas, right? It is separating wherever there is a comma. It's not printing commas. Now what we'll do, the same program, instead of printing it, we will write into a separate file. So let us take f2 is equal to open result.csv in write mode. Let's open it in write mode. Okay. Now this one is writer. Writer is equal to CSV writer f2. So we want to write into f2. Now we are not writing it. We are just taking a writer object into this CSV, and we are creating a new file. Write mode means if the file is not there, it will create. If file is already there, it will overwrite. Right? We are creating a new file where we will write whatever we read from mocks CSV, we will write into result.csv. So here instead of printing, or let us print also on the screen. And now, so writer, we have to take one more. This is an object. Writer is an object. Writer also has function. So write, and this word, let us write this word like this. Okay, each word will write, and maybe plus if you want any spaces, otherwise leave it. Then new line also we have to write, right? We are also printing on the screen. So write, let's write also new line after the complete list. So finally we also have to close these objects. f1.close, f2.close. It's okay if we don't close also, automatically it will close. So here what we are doing, here printing each word onto screen, and we are also writing the same word to second file, results.csv. Printing a new line and writing the new line to CSV, results.csv, second file. Writer, right? So let's execute. F2 is not defined. Did you mean F1? Okay. So maybe I did not put. Oh, so it's equal to, right? Okay. CSV writer object has no attribute write. Okay. So what it says, it doesn't have a function called write. So instead of, I can say write row. So row is here, right, in row list. So I will use this row, write row. This row is what? It's reading from first file, reader, right? And this is writer. I am writing to the second file. So let us see. Object has no attribute write. Did I use write anywhere? Okay. Here it is no more required because I am writing the entire row. Entire row. Here it's only for printing. If, it's okay if you don't want to print, you can comment it out. So now let us see result.csv, whether it wrote to result.csv. So it wrote, but commas I did not mention, but it will write commas. Whatever is in the row, whatever we have read into row, we are writing as it is into the second file. Now instead of writing as it is, let us also add a few more lines. For example, let us take, there are 3 marks, right? Let us add it. Where is the marks? Row of 0 is name, right? So if you see, it will come into a row, but first one is row of 0 name. So row of 1, row of 2, row of 3. So let us take row of 1 plus row of 2 plus row of 3. But is it a string or integer? By default it is a string when it reads from a file. So I have to convert it. I will have to convert into int. Which one? Row 1, row 2, row 3, row of 3. So that means 35, 67, 68. The first one is row of 0. So name I am not converting. These 3 I am converting to integer and adding into total. And let me also take percentage. Percentage is equal to total by 3. Because we are considering as for 100 marks out of 100 marks. So 35, 67, 68. Total by 300 marks. That is the percentage, right? And okay. So what I will do, this row has whatever it read, right? These 4. So I will also add it to that row. For example, let me say so here row means one row, right? So what it will come? It will come in a list, name, marks, marks, marks. But I am adding a total here, and let us also add the percentage here. Okay, to the same row. So row append total and row append percentage. Now this row has total and percentage also, and then the second row also similarly, second row will come, total will be calculated, percentage calculated, again row added. So that row we are writing to a second file, right? That means this row writes total and percentage also. Let us see now. Int object has no attribute L just. Okay. So here let us not use this left justification. Otherwise we have to convert it. We have to convert it and use string, for example, string, convert it and then use left just sum 50. If you want to write like this, is only we are not writing it, we are only printing here. So we are printing. So let us see the second file, result.csv. So now it also wrote total and percentage. So percentage, let us round it instead of such a big number. So percentage round. And let us run again. So now let us see the result. So it's rounded. So the second file has this one. So first file, we are reading from this file. Only marks are there. And we are writing to second file, total and percentage also. Let us also add result. For example, if percentage less than 40, then result is equal to fail, grade is equal to F. If percentage less than 50, so less than 50 means third, right? Third and C grade. Let's copy again. Less than 60. Less than 60 means second class. B grade. Less than maybe 75 means first class. A grade. Else nothing else, then it's a distinction or outstanding or what. Distinction J plus, and let us also add these two, row append result, row append grade to the row, then the same row will be returned to the second file. Here let us remove all this, otherwise it's printing enough, the line is not enough to print. So let us write, so this one. Now let us see, mocks.csv has only these 4 columns, but result.csv also has total, percentage, class and grade. So all these fields, right? You understood? So first one, we are opening the file mocks.csv and we are taking a reader object. Second file in write mode and taking a writer object. So from reader object means first file we are reading row by row like a list, right? It will come like a list, and we are adding the mocks, taking the percentage. We are also calculating result and grade, and to this row which only has 4 fields, we are also adding the remaining fields, right? All the remaining fields we are adding to the row, and the same row we are printing, and we are also writing to the second file using write row. Otherwise we can, what we can also do, so let me take one more list equal to empty list, and let me write this row to this list. That means list of list, row itself is a list, right? So what I am going to do, li append this row. To this row I am appending all these fields, and the row itself I am appending to list. That means this is a list of list, right? So it will be like this. So let me remove this. So one row, one list, it has name, mocks, total, percentage, result, grade, something. And what I am doing, this is a row, right? And again second row. But what I am doing, I am taking a one more list and adding each list to this list. This is a list of list. So this is one list, this is one list, this is one list, like this, and all these lists I am adding to this list, right? So this is a list of list. What I can do then, so here instead of adding each row in a loop, so I will take it out of the loop and I will say write rows, and I will use li, means all the rows write at a time to the second file. This, if I don't want to print, I can avoid. This is not a problem. This I am printing to the screen is okay. So let me comment out the printing to the screen. Let us not print to the screen. I am just calculating and adding to the row, and each row I am adding to the list of list, and that list of list I am writing to the second file directly. So let us see. So I am not printing anything. but I am writing to the second file. So everything got written, right? So otherwise we can add one more and let us see whether it is writing again or not. Let me say Krishna Mohan Narayan, 3 words, 78, 56, 45. Okay, now execute. Now let us see result.csv. So it's also there, Krishna Mohan Narayan city, 1 word, 78, 56, like this. Calculated, right? Now we can we open this file in Excel? Yes, right? So let us see. Let me go, this is in Python directory. Python directory result.csv. This is the file. Let us open and see in Excel whether it will open or not. See whether it is single word or double word or 3 words or 2 words. Wherever there is a comma, it will separate. It's separating properly or not. So 3 words, but the comma is here, so it will separate into 1 word. Here 1 word is there, but comma is here, so that will separate as a separate column. So it doesn't matter how many words are there, wherever there is a comma, it will separate. Similarly, if you want to suppose this file, for example, let me say instead of comma something else is there. For example, I separated with columns like this. So let me find and replace at a time. Replace comma with colon and replace all. Right now this file is delimited with columns instead of commas. Then what I can do, so let me say here CSV reader, I can say delimiter is equal to colon instead of comma, right? Similarly in second file what I want to write, if it is a comma it's okay, by default you can leave it, but if it is something else, again second file also you can write delimiter something, some column, but here I am not taking any delimiter. Reader file, because this file has columns separated with columns, so I have taken reader delimiter column. Let us run and see. Permission denied, result.csv. Okay, this is open, right? Open in Excel, so we should close it. Don't save. Let me even delete it. Result.csv. So whether it will create again or not. Let's see, this file is no more, right? So let me execute this file.csv. Now if you see, this file got created with commas. Second file I have not taken any delimiter, but first file mocks.csv has columns. That is the reason in the reader I used colon, but second file I did not take anything, so it will write into commas. It wrote commas. If I want something else here, delimiter is equal to, for example, what I want to write. So let me put star. So let us execute again. By CSV. Now see result.csv as stars. Can we open this file also in Excel? We can open, but it not directly. So result.csv, but it will show in single column because it will take it as a comma file. There are no commas, so it will take into single column. Now we can convert it. Of course, that is an Excel subject that I'll discuss later. Okay, for example, text to columns, delimited, so it's not tab, but what is it delimited with star, right? Star, so it's separated now. If it is comma directly it will do it, otherwise we have to separate like this. This is all Excel subject. Excel we can learn separately. That's why you have to write it as a by default comma. So otherwise you have to do all those things. You understood these delimiters and all? This code I will send it to you, and I will also send you the video so you can watch it. Thank you.